I helped him talk to other people. Every time it hurt more. I was the one he called first. Not when he was sad. Not when he was lonely. When he wanted advice. "Do you think she's into me?" he asked, holding up his phone. I glanced at the screen. A smiling girl. Pretty. Confident. Clearly interested. "Yeah," I said easily. "She is." That was the truth. The rest wasn't. "Good," he said, grinning. "I don't want to mess this up." I smiled back, because that's what best friends do. They smile while something inside them quietly breaks. We'd been friends forever. The kind of friendship where people assume nothing could ever change. Late night talks, inside jokes, comfortable silence. And one very important rule I never broke. I never told him I was gay, and I definitely never told him I loved him. "Come with me," he said suddenly. "To where?" I asked. "Out," he replied. "I need moral support." I raised an eyebrow. "For what exactly?" "For talking to her," he said. "You're good at reading people." I almost laughed. If only you knew what I was reading right now. The place was loud. Music, lights, people pretending they weren't nervous. He stood a little straighter when we walked in. I stood a little farther back. "There she is," he said, nodding toward the bar. I followed his gaze, then nodded. "Okay, just be yourself." He hesitated. "What if that's not enough?" I looked at him, really looked at him. "It always is," I said. That wasn't advice. That was a confession I wasn't allowed to make. He smiled at me, that smile, the one that made my chest tighten every time. "You always know what to say," he said. I swallowed. "That's my job." He walked toward her. I stayed behind, watching him laugh, watching her lean closer, watching something I wanted to move farther away. A few minutes later, he came back, excited. "She likes me," he said. "I know," I replied. He hesitated. "You're okay, right?" I blinked. "Why wouldn't I be?" He shrugged. "You just got quiet." I forced a grin. Just thinking. That part was true. I was thinking about how easy it was for him, and how impossible it felt for me. Later that night, we sat outside, the noise fading behind us. "Thanks for coming," he said. "I don't know why, but I'm always calmer when you're around." My heart skipped. "You don't need me," I said lightly. He frowned. "That's not true." He stood up, stretched. "I'm glad you're my best friend," he said. I looked away before my face gave me away. "Yeah," I said. "Me too." But as he went back inside to find her, I realized something I'd been avoiding for a long time. Helping him find someone else was slowly destroying me, because being his wingman meant watching him choose everyone, except the one person who already loved him. After that night, everything became my fault. Not officially, not out loud, just quietly. Every time he talked about her, he looked at me first, like he needed my approval before letting himself feel excited. "She texted me again," he said one afternoon, phone in hand. What should I say? I didn't answer right away. I was tired of helping him build something I couldn't touch. "Just be honest," I said finally. He smiled. "That's what I like about you." I forced a laugh. "What?" "You don't overthink things," he replied. "You just get it." I turned away so he wouldn't see my expression. If only he knew how much I overthought him. He started bringing her up more, casually, often, like he wanted me to be part of it. "She laughed at my joke," he said once. "She said I'm easy to talk to." I nodded. "You are. That's because of you," he replied. "You taught me how to listen." That wasn't fair. One night he came home late, later than usual. I was on the couch pretending to watch TV. He dropped his keys and sat beside me, closer than necessary. "Can I ask you something?" he said. I sighed. "You always do." He smiled, then grew serious. "Do you ever get jealous?" The question landed wrong. "Of what?" I asked. "Of people," he said. "When someone you care about starts seeing someone else." My chest tightened. "Sometimes," I answered carefully. He nodded slowly. I thought so. I turned to him. Why? He hesitated. Because I feel weird, he admitted. Like I want to tell you things before I tell her. That wasn't something a wingman was supposed to hear. She invited me over tomorrow, he continued. Is that normal? Yes, I said. That's how dating works. He frowned. You sound annoyed. I laughed quietly. You asked. The next day, he left dressed better than usual. Hair done. Cologne I'd never seen him use. You okay? He asked, noticing me watching. Yeah. I lied. He paused at the door. I'll text you, he said, like he always did. He came back late again. Quieter this time. No grin. No excitement. He dropped onto the couch beside me. She's nice, he said. But? I asked. He shrugged. It felt off. My heart jumped. How? I asked too quickly. I don't know, he replied. I kept thinking about what you'd say about everything. That hurt more than if he'd said nothing. I stood up. You don't need me to tell you how to feel, I said. He looked up at me. I kind of do, he said honestly. The silence between us grew heavy. Dangerous. I don't want to mess this up, he added softly. Mess what up? I asked. He hesitated. Us. That word shouldn't have mattered. It did. I looked at him. At the boy I'd loved quietly for years. At the friend who trusted me with everything. Then don't, I said. He nodded. But neither of us knew what that actually meant anymore. Because the more he leaned on me, the harder it became to pretend I wasn't already falling apart. He stopped talking about her. Not all at once. Just quietly. First, I thought it was my imagination. No more screenshots of texts. No more what should I say. No more late-night excitement spilling into my space. Instead, there was You busy? He asked one evening, hovering in the doorway. I shook my head. Not really. Good, he said. Sit with me. Not come over. Not hang out. Sit with me. We ended up on the floor, backs against the couch, knees almost touching. The TV played, muted again like it had become a habit for moments that mattered. He fidgeted. I noticed everything. I think I messed something up, he said. With her? I asked. He hesitated. With everything. My heart started racing. You didn't do anything wrong, I said automatically. He laughed quietly. You always say that. That's because you usually don't, I replied. He leaned his head back against the couch and stared at the ceiling. I feel stupid, he admitted. I thought dating her would make things clearer. And, I asked. It made things louder, he said. I swallowed. Louder, how? He turned his head slightly, looking at me from the corner of his eye. Like there's something I've been ignoring. The air shifted. He looked away again. I keep wanting to tell you things, he said. Before anyone else. My chest tightened. That's normal, I said. We're friends. He nodded slowly. Yeah, he said. But it doesn't feel the same anymore. Silence filled the room. Heavy. Neither of us moved. I don't want to lose you, he said suddenly. I forced a smile. You won't. He frowned. You say that like you're already preparing for it. I stood up. I'm getting water, I said. Don't, he replied quickly. The urgency in his voice stopped me. He stood too, now close enough that I had to tilt my head to look at him. I feel like you're always helping me choose, he said. But no one ever asks what you want. I laughed once softly. That's not my role. Why not? He asked. I didn't answer. Couldn't. He searched my face, frustration and confusion mixing in his eyes. I hate that I don't know what's going on, he said. I hate that you know me better than anyone, and I don't know this about myself. I took a step back. You don't need to figure everything out tonight, I said. But I need you here, he replied. That wasn't fair. I am here, I said quietly. He shook his head. No, he said. You're standing right in front of me, and it feels like you're somewhere else. The truth pressed against my chest, begging to be let out. I didn't let it. I'm tired, I said instead. He nodded, disappointment flickering across his face. Okay, he said. As I walked toward my room, he spoke again. Soft, almost to himself. I don't think I want anyone else right now. I froze, didn't turn around, didn't breathe. That night, lying awake, I realized something terrifying. He wasn't leaning on me anymore. He was choosing me, and I was running out of places to hide. Because once someone starts choosing you, pretending it means nothing becomes impossible. The apartment felt smaller after that. Not physically, emotionally. We avoided each other the next morning. Not on purpose, just carefully. He made coffee without asking. I stayed in my room longer than usual. Neither of us mentioned what he'd said the night before. I don't think I want anyone else right now. The words followed me everywhere. By afternoon, the silence was unbearable. He finally broke it. You mad at me? He asked from the doorway. I shook my head. No. You sure? He pressed. Because you're doing that thing. What thing? I asked. Disappearing while you're still here. I sighed, sat down. So what do you want me to say? I asked. He stepped inside the room. I want you to stop pretending this doesn't matter, he said. My chest tightened. This matters to you, I replied carefully. That doesn't mean it's what you think it is. He frowned. That's the thing, he said. I don't know what to think anymore. We stood there, facing each other. Too close, not touching, but close enough to feel the truth buzzing between us. I keep replaying everything, he admitted. Every time you helped me, every time you listened. I swallowed. That's what friends do. He shook his head. No, he said. Friends don't make you feel like this. I looked away. He stepped closer. I went out with her again, he said quietly. My heart dropped. And? I asked. And I spent the whole night wishing I was here, he said. With you. The room went still. I think I'm messing this up, he added. But I don't think I want to stop. That scared me more than anything else he'd said. You don't get to pull me into something you're not ready to face, I said softly. I know, he replied. That's why I'm asking. Asking what? I whispered. He hesitated, then said it. Are you hiding because you don't feel this, or because you do? The question finally cornered me. I closed my eyes, took a breath, long, slow. I've been your wingman for years, I said, helping you choose everyone else. He listened, didn't interrupt. And every time, I continued, I told myself it was fine, that loving you quietly was better than losing you. My voice shook. He didn't move, didn't speak, just stared at me as the world had shifted. You don't have to say anything, I added quickly. I just needed you to know. Silence wrapped around us. Heavy, sacred, terrifying. I never meant to hurt you, he said finally. I know, I replied. He reached out, stopped himself. His hands were clenched at his sides. I don't want to lose you, he said again. But I don't want to keep lying either. My heart raced. Then don't, I whispered. We stood there, everything finally out in the open. Nothing solved, nothing broken. But nothing is hidden anymore. Because once the truth is spoken, it doesn't go back into hiding. The truth didn't explode. It settled. We stood there for a long moment after I told him. No shouting, no panic. Just the sound of both of us breathing like we'd been holding it in for years. I didn't know, he said quietly. I know, I replied. But I think, he continued slowly, some part of me always felt it. I looked at him. What do you mean? I trusted you more than anyone, he said. Needed you more than I understood. My heart tightened. And when you started pulling away, he added, that's when I realized I didn't want to imagine life without you. I laughed softly. That doesn't mean what you think it does. He shook his head. No, he said, but it means something. We sat down on the couch. Same place where I'd given him advice about other people. Funny how things circle back. I don't have everything figured out, he admitted. I don't even know what label fits me. I nodded. You don't need one. But I do know this, he said, turning to face me. When I imagine choosing someone, it's you. My breath caught. Not because you're safe, he added, but because you're honest. I didn't rush him, didn't fill the silence. This time, I let him come to the truth on his own. He reached for my hand. Slow, careful, giving me time to pull away. I don't want you to be my wingman anymore, he said softly. I smiled. Good. He smiled back, nervous, real. I want you to be with me, he said, even if we take it slow. That was all I needed. Weeks passed. We didn't announce anything, didn't explain ourselves to anyone else. We just stayed. He stopped asking me for advice about other people, started asking me how my day was, started choosing me without thinking. One night, lying side by side on the couch, he said something that made everything worth it. You know, he said, I thought love was loud. I turned toward him. And now? I asked. Now I think it's the person who stays, he replied. The one who never left. I rested my head against his shoulder. For the first time, I didn't feel like I was hiding. I spent years helping him find love somewhere else. Turns out, he'd been finding it with me all along.